White kids are gonna have the lunchbox moment. They're gonna go home and be like, stop with the sandwiches. My friend is having bulgogi, okay? Do you even love me, mom? You give me a PB&J? That is low effort, mom. You know, because they're white, they get to talk back to their parents without being beat. So that's what's gonna happen. Welcome back to the HAIYAA podcast. We talk about disappointing things in life. I'm your host, Nigel, and I have here my producer, Matt, because you guys seem to all enjoy him a lot. So he's back.
Hey guys, how's it going?
I haven't fired him yet.
Yeah.
Has the astrology podcast fired you yet?
Not yet.
Really?
Yeah,
Have
not yet.
they listened to the previous episode?
I'm making sure none of the other things I work on know that I do this.
Really?
I'm just keeping it.
You know it's public,
it's my little
right?
secret.
I mean, I can send it. I know your LinkedIn, man. I know which podcast it is. But yeah, you were talking about choking your wife last episode.
I think that was my favorite comment. There was a few people all saying the same thing, which was, no, he looks like the kind of guy his wife chokes him. It's like, love it.
What does Gemma do? Does she Sorry, Gemma. You know what your husband was signing up for. The always offensive, sometimes funny podcast. But I am back from LA, listeners, wherever you're listening to. Oh, so fun, man. I'm very, very jet lagged. But I always feel, I don't like telling people I'm jet lagged because it feels like a humble brag, you know? Poor people just feel tired. But rich people who can afford to travel, jet lag. You know?
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's such a humble brag. Growing up, I never had money to travel that much. The most we did was we drove to the beach 4 hours away in Malaysia. So I never experienced jet lag. So now, maybe I should start flaunting my jet lagness, you know?
That could just be your Twitter bio, just like constantly jet lagged.
Yeah, oh, such a prick move. Such a prick move. Just go to Starbucks and just... sorry, I'm jet lagged. I just came from LA. Sir, I just wanted to know what your drink order was. You know? I have to say, I flew to LA on an economy and I flew back on business. And holy shit, the difference is night and day, man.
Your legs were thanking you.
Yeah, my legs, my butt, everything. Like, I couldn't sleep at all on economy. I bought an iPad, but I forgot to bring it like an idiot. So I'm just stuck looking at the tiny ass screen in the plane. The beauty of business is you just get to just recline the whole way. Oh, oh man. I'm into the bougie life now, man.
That is the biggest humble brag, is when you can say, I've been on a 12-hour flight, but I slept the whole way through. Do you know what I mean? That is not jet lag, it's that. That's huge.
You're teaching me the ways, man. Yeah, sleeping the whole way, that is a good humble brag. I'll do that next time. Instead of saying jet lag, I'll be like, oh, I slept the whole way through. The turbulence didn't even scare me. That's true too. I'm only scared of turbulence when I'm in economy. You know, in business, you just, turbulence? I'll order some champagne. I don't care. This will be fine. They make you feel very safe. You know, just recline the seats. The air stewards actually like you. The airline attendants actually like you in business. Have you tried pressing the call button in economy? And then they come over with that face of disgust. Just like, oh, what do you want, you fucking scum? Just come over. But in business, you ring that bell, they're there. Hello, sir. What do you want? What should I get for you? You know? Oh, amazing.
Who are you sat next to? Did you have like any good small talk? Anything going on there?
Oh, I don't do that shit, man.
What do you mean?
Small talk, that's the worst. Small talk on a plane. You like small talk on a plane?
I love it. To be fair, on a plane's weird because you feel like you're taking them hostage a bit.
Yeah. So that's why are you that one of those guys?
Yeah, if I'm like on my own. Yeah, because it's boring, isn't it? And you get to hear what are you going to wherever you're going to for. It's interesting.
Listen, when we flew over there, it was economy, but it wasn't full. So the moment we sat down and the flight took off, my neighbor just left. Maybe it says more about me than about them. I was like, do I smell or something? I have cologne on. I'm wearing my Creed Aventus. Why are you leaving me? Stop! I got really needy, you know? Like, don't leave the moment it takes off. Give it a few minutes. The seatbelt sign was still on and she's like, bye. Just kinda went 2 seats away. She took the middle seat in the middle aisle just to fuck off away from me. So I don't know. I think there's something wrong with me. But LA was great. That's what I'm trying to say. I met Gordon Ramsay.
That's huge.
I know. That video, man. Listeners, unfortunately, we didn't have time to do a full collab because, he's fucking Gordon Ramsay and he's too busy for my tiny little YouTube channel. But we'll keep growing it and see what happens in the future. He's too busy for that. So we just, I met him because I was asked to be a special guest on Hell's Kitchen, which we'll get to in a bit. Very, very exciting. That's a Gordon Ramsay's TV show, essentially. So I got there and then I heard, we were in the waiting room, me and my friend, and then I heard Gordon's assistant came over and said, "Oh, Gordon wants to meet you." And oh, shit, really? Oh, okay, cool. So I met Gordon. He's such a cool guy. Shook my hand. He gave me 4 woks. He gave me 2 woks and 2 saucepans.
Did he actually?
Yeah. It's his own brand, Hexclad.
Oh, I love that.
And then I always see Instagram promote that ad on my Instagram because I'm in the food world, right? So I was like, is it even good? Is it Gordon only saying this because he's paid to say this, But then when I met him, he's actually excited about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, take this, Nigel, take this. These pants very expensive. They're very good. It's all I use." If he's doing just a sponsorship thing, he wouldn't be that enthusiastic, right? Because he likes me, so he gave me 2 pants and 2 woks. And then he was nice enough to say, "You don't have to bring it through the airport. My assistant can mail it back to you." Because it'd be very stereotypical, right? If just an Asian guy going through an airport with 4 woks, that's the most Uncle Roger thing to do. If I did that, I'm gonna just go through the airport in my orange polo. That's a YouTube video, smuggling woks through an airport. It's not gonna go through. It looks like a weapon. It is a weapon. It's so heavy, and then that wok, the lid is a shield, I guess you can check it, but it'll take it over your luggage. Yeah, I'm just not traveling through an airport carrying 4 woks. We met with Gordon, and then we just bitched about Jamie Oliver.
Is that actually true?
Yeah,
I saw the
that's
caption.
very, very true. Very, very true.
Spicy.
And we talked about all the stuff he messed up. We talked about the chili jam. We talked about the mango chutney. Gordon was like, I hear he recently messed up an Indian dish. I was like, yeah, he put mango chutney in his curry. And Gordon's like, Jesus. So it was a great time. He has a great sense of humor. He's a very, very tall guy.
Yeah, he looks intimidating.
Yeah, he
big
is.
Presence.
I know, if he yells at you, man. And then when he shook my hand, I could feel his weight just crushing me. He's just so strong and big.
Was that the strongest you've ever gone in for a handshake, though? Because did you know, I've got to really go for this?
I didn't know it was going to be that forceful. Yeah. So I have my regular handshake pressure. But I think I need to up my handshake game because, successful people always have strong handshakes. They're very confident.
Now we're going back into the world again when you can do handshakes.
That is true.
Everyone's going to be working on their handshake game. So
yeah, I'm gonna practice that. It's all about the force from your you put your whole body into it. It's like kung fu or like ping pong. I like how I'm using those references. It's an Asian podcast. Where you talk about weight transfer and the two sports is kung fu and ping pong. So meeting Gordon was fun. I was one of the special guests on Hell's Kitchen, right? And the other special guest for that episode was Tony Hawk.
That is so sweet.
And he got way better treatment than me. As he should. As he should, because he was Tony Hawk. In Hell's Kitchen, when they get special guests, sometimes they only appear for 10 seconds in the video. But sometimes they have little scenes where you can get the guest talking. So the camera wasn't on me much, but when it was on me, I made sure to complain because that's what I do. I went as Uncle Roger. The special guest was Uncle Roger, not me. Yeah. So when the camera is off, I'm just chatting to the other diners around me because some of them recognize me as well. But when the camera was on me, it's just, HAIYAA, why Tony Hawk get food first? Where my food? Why did Tony get his food? You know what I bitch about Tony when he got his food first? When the camera was on me, I said, "HAIYAA, Tony, he too old for skateboarding. HAIYAA." Is that what he does? Yeah, he's a skateboarder.
Yeah, he had a really good video game as well. Did you ever play that?
No, I've seen people play it though. It looks very good. And he's a nice guy. He's such a cool, down-to-earth guy. I was too, I didn't want to bother him, so I didn't ask for a photo, unfortunately. But he was so cool. A lot of the other diners were also other BMX people.
Oh,
so
cool.
his gang, skaters, snowboarders, and they all know each other. And you can see Tony actually he loves skating. He was just there, and then he was talking to his other friends like, "Hey man, you want to go skate tomorrow? I know this place. Want to go skate tomorrow?"
That's so cute, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so cute, and it's heartwarming to know that this guy is still doing it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
You know, you get so many people, they get a bit famous and then they just make the thing, but they don't have passion anymore. You know, cough, cough, Rachel Ray. You know, I've reviewed her. I know. Just dead behind the eyes. Today we're gonna make pho, and then she just pours random shit into a pot. I just like LA because I met a lot of Asian creators as well. I did David So's podcast. Shout out to David. Thank you for bringing me around. And the tacos we went to get after the podcast, amazing. Mexican food in LA is just amazing, man. And I realize now how much I miss having a community. You know, I don't miss it because I've never had that experience before. You know, as stand-ups, sure, you have your community because you're all doing stand-up, right? But the problem is you all work at the exact same time at night on weekends. So you maybe you meet them at a gig or something, but when you're at a gig, you're at work, you know, so you're thinking in your head what to say, going through your set, and then usually people leave right after their set, so you don't get to hang. Even if they hang, you hang for a bit, then it's late because you finish the gig at like 10, 11. You hang for a couple hours, you go to bed. The next morning, you probably have a different gig somewhere else in the country, so you just leave. So it's like ships passing in the night, you know? So stand-up, you don't really get a community.
Yeah.
Unless you start dating another comedian, but you know, you don't want to do that. If you're a comedian, don't date another comedian. It never ends well. It never. You know why it doesn't end well?
No, tell me.
Because one of them's gonna be more successful than another person. I've seen this. They date, they're at the same level, and then one pulls ahead because stand-up is already such a insecure art form. You're never guaranteed success. So to see your partner get everything and you get nothing, you know, you're gonna start hating her or him a little bit. You know, that choking in bed is gonna be a little bit real. You know? I don't know why we keep coming back to this, man, but you know, I'm trying to subliminally insert this thought into you. So one day Gemma in bed, she'll be like, "Oh man, where'd you learn this? Where'd you learn this new trick, man? Is that from the new podcast you've been doing?" And you're like, "Yeah, it's the astrology podcast. Yeah. I'm a Pisces and I love to choke women." That's my new Tinder bio. Pisces and loves choking. Would you swipe right on that, listeners? If you encountered me on Tinder and my bio is just Pisces and I love to choke.
Oh my God. I bet, are you on HAIYAA? That's like the famous people Tinder, isn't it?
No. Should I get on it? I'm not on anything right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm giving... I talked about this in a previous episode, but this year my resolution is more bros, less hoes, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But you never know. I might get lonely one day and get all the apps. Sign up for all the premium membership, you know. That app, man, is just they just prey on lonely people, don't they?
Yeah.
And if you hack into that database and just get the list of people who actually pay for those apps, that's how you find lonely, ugly people. Hot people don't need to pay. It's just the lonely, ugly people. So you need to hack into that system, get that list of names, and you should put all those people on a suicide watch list. I guarantee you there's gonna be a correlation between people who kill themselves and people who pay for Tinder. Someone should do a research into this, don't you think?
I think you should.
I don't have the information, and I'm too busy bitching about food. So
But you were a data scientist, right?
I'm onto something. Yeah, I am a data. That's why I'm saying it might not be causation. I don't think Tinder makes you want to kill yourself, but there might be a correlation there. And maybe it can save a few innocent lives, you know? Maybe the Samaritans can start calling down the list. I see you have Tinder Gold, and you've been swiping and upgrading your account. Is everything okay there? Is there anything you want to tell us? You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is going to be the episode sponsored by Tinder, isn't it?
Yeah, Tinder, hit me up. I'm a Pisces and I love choking people. Which star sign is most into stepping on my neck? You know, those are the comments I go when I posted my shirtless photos on my, on my Instagram. Yeah. It's good. I'm surprised I still had abs when I sat down, man. I am very surprised. I was flexing a little bit. Of course, you have to, you know. They sell. You know, I posted those shirtless photos, and then the HAIYAA podcast Instagram shot up to 10K now followers. It works, man. It works. And I know, I'm well aware, people in Britain think I'm a bit of a prick, especially my sir. You can see who likes your post, and none of the comedians liked it. I'm like, I know, comes across very prickishness for British culture. But hey, I'm trying to grow my podcast, trying to grow my business. Whatever works. Get
the abs out.
Yeah.
All opportunities.
If I'm not gonna have these abs forever, You know, a few more years, that's it. So while I have it, I'm going to use it to sell my product.
So thumbnail for this episode, just you, abs out.
Yeah, just take the Instagram,
tracks.
just take the Instagram photo, and then just, you know, Nigel just came back from LA. That's the title of this episode. You know, yeah, everybody there is so beautiful. I feel like a troll out in LA. Then I come back to UK, I'm like, whoa, I am beautiful here. You know, it's amazing. I think it's so relative, isn't it? So if you ever feel ugly, if you feel ugly in the UK, God help you. This, but if you feel ugly in LA, come to the UK. That's why I'm saying you gain like 2 attractiveness points because it's all in comparison, right?
American men are just like really tall. I feel tiny.
They're
when I'm in America.
big. Yeah, tall, big, and then it's LA, so they're muscular, and they all love taking their shirt off. You know, maybe that's why I like it. Maybe that's why I have that LA tendency. I also like it because of the community thing we mentioned. In LA, there are so many Asian people. In SoCal, Southern California, so many Asian people. And it just feels nice, you know, because everybody there, they know how to pronounce my last name, you know, and in LA, there's a whole suburb that's just Chinese people. Chinese American, Chinese immigrants. And then there's another suburb that's just Vietnamese. And a part of town in LA called K-Town, there's a lot of Koreans, you know, and then you want to get Korean barbecue, you have a whole street in K-Town. Which one? You know, in London, you want to get Korean barbecue, I can think of like, 4 decent places. I could see myself living there, you know? And I think if I want to bring up a kid, first of all, it's going to be, hopefully, it'll be a pure Asian kid. You know, I'm very against race mixing, but not the way that you expect. Not in the right-wing nationalist way. Okay, hear me out here. Please don't clip this up and then send it to his astrology podcast employers, okay? So, I'm honestly open to both, but if all things being equal, I'd rather my kid be fully Asian because if you're half, you'll never fit in anywhere.
It's an interesting point. Okay.
Yeah, if you're fully white, fully Asian, there's always a place where you can be part of the majority group. As a future parent, which you will be soon, I think you've been planning, right? You planning? Planning?
Potentially.
Yeah, get some choking sessions in. You get a kid in no time. But
that'd be awful if you conceived your child or choke. That's.
I don't know. I think you should try it. You should try it. You should.
That's been the missing ingredient all these years.
Mom, how are babies created, Mom? Well, when a man and a woman love each other very much, they start strangling them. You know, and that's when you see their face turn blue and they sputter for air, and that's why I come, and that's how you were created, son. That's why we called you Strangle, you know? But I'm sure there are so many kids out there who are conceived while their parents were being choked. I'm sure.
I mean, it
has to be, just statistically.
Right. Yeah.
Statistically. It's the only way I can come. So, you know, statistically, it's... All I'm trying to say is, pure race babies are better. Oh. Okay? I don't know if that's making it better.
Wow.
No, listen, it comes with a lot of baggage. I know a lot of, you know, Asian friends, white friends, and also offensive term, sorry, both racist friends. I'm trying to find the least, I already was very offensive, so I'm trying to find the most diplomatic way of saying this. And they're all struggle with their sense of identity. And sure, that a lot of good art comes from it, a lot of good writing and prose and poetry, whatever comes from it, because they forever straddle between these two worlds. But you know, as a parent, you want your kid to have the easiest life. You know, you want to give them like financial resources, the best schools, whatever you can to give them the best lot in life, right? So to do that, you have to make sure, try to not fall in love with someone who's not in your race. Try. If you do, love is blind. You know, I'm a Pisces, so hopeless romantic, you know. But try your best to only date within your race. Try. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying one race is better than the other. I'm just saying try. You know, for the sake of your kids. You don't have a fuck buddy. Any race is fine. Okay. But I'm not totally against it. But I think if you could choose how love happens, you know? Yeah. In America, I feel like the conversation around race, there's so... Asian, I'm talking about mostly Asian things, they're starting to get more visible in America, right? I don't know from a Western white perspective if you noticed this or not, but in America, there are a lot of like Asian-led films that are not even, they don't even build them as, oh, film is about representation anymore. They've moved past it now. It's just, oh yeah, there's just regular people who happen to be Asian. We just talk about their stories. They've been in America for longer, right? So they've struggled with this issue for longer. Now all this art coming out, the Asian writers, Asian cinematographers, Asian directors, in addition to all the typical Asian jobs, the doctors, lawyers, and stuff. There's so many Asian artists coming up. So there's so many art and movies and pop culture stuff that's Asian, right? Whereas here, I think correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know much about the British Asian history, but I feel like the immigrants who came here came later, maybe in the 70s. There was no railroad building in the UK, so they came here, and they will get there. There will be a time where British Asians create all this art and stuff, but I think if I want to bring up a kid now, or in the next 5-10 years, I'll bring them up in California or something. There's another thing, we talk about the lunchbox moment for an Asian kid. Are you familiar with that?
No,
yeah,
please.
That's great. I love having this white person next to me, so I can because I have a lot of white fans, right? So I need to know what things you guys don't know, so I can explain. So lunchbox moment is that moment where in high school, in elementary school, middle school, whatever, they go to school and then Asian kids, right? So they pack lunch by the parents, an Asian meal, which tends to smell a little bit or have more flavor that compared to a sandwich, right? So they open it and then they get made fun of by the white peers, yeah, because like, what the fuck is that? It smells like shit, man. What's this fish sauce? What is it? And then they feel bad and they throw the food away, So that's the lunchbox moment. And then their parents find out, and then they feel heartbroken and don't make food for them anymore. So they just start packing their own sandwiches and stuff. So that's what they call the lunchbox moment.
Isn't it a big thing in like Asian culture that the parents do really cool like lunchbox, like the little like designed food sort of thing?
Yeah,
it was really pretty and like it's almost like art in itself.
Yeah, it's made out of love, but because it sticks out, so they get bullied. And as a kid, you're not gonna see the effort your parents put in. You're not gonna understand. You're gonna be like, oh, Nate bullied me for having fried rice. I just want a sandwich, mom. So that's
God.
I know. But kids don't know any better. I'm not blaming the white kids either. They're kids. They're supposed. This always gonna be like this. But because they have that, and I think if you grew up in California, but there's so many Asians, like this neighborhood, there's neighborhoods there that are like 40%, 60% Asian. The lunchbox, white kids are gonna have the lunchbox moment. They're gonna go home and be like, fuck you, mom. Stop with the sandwiches. My friend is having bulgogi, okay? Do you even love me, mom? You give me a PB&J, peanut butter and jam. That is low effort, mom. Because they're white, they get to talk back to their parents without being beat. So that's what's gonna happen. That's why I'm saying I want to raise kids in California, or anywhere in the US where there's a high Asian population, which is any major city, I think. So the lunchbox moment is gonna be a white kid having a lunchbox moment instead of an Asian kid. It's time to turn the tables, people. My friend Park has this beautiful Wagyu beef. And what do you make for me, mom? What do you make for me? Mac and cheese? Fuck you, mom. As he flips the table. Fuck you. Yeah, you get the point, right?
Yeah, I do get it.
Did you bully Asian kids growing up?
No.
Were there any Asian kids in your school?
I don't think there were, actually.
See, because we're invisible. That is one critique. Asians in the West. Oh, see, Matt, never even...
I genuinely don't think there were.
You really?
Seriously?
I thought they were, just didn't notice them.
No.
You went to school in London?
No. I went to school in south of England. So like a small little town.
Okay, you are forgiven. But isn't it good to be part of where everybody, you're in the majority group? You never have to think, you know what I mean? You don't have to be like, do they not like me because I'm white? They don't like you because you're a dweeb. That's
the harsh truth, yeah. That's the sad truth of it.
That's what I'm doing. I could see myself living there someday. I have the visa now. I can go over there anytime. And my work in entertainment, LA is the place to be. So maybe who knows what the future will hold, I think if you live in America, just make sure you have good health insurance. Then you'll be okay. Because in the UK, is there a place where it's mostly Asian people? I'm thinking more East Asian. Not really, right?
I'm not the guy to ask.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
You can't raise a kid in Chinatown. That's just
Does
mad.
anyone live there?
No, nobody lives there. I'm sure there are a few people who are trafficked who get chained up in Chinatown store. That's where they live and work. They get tricked by their relatives. Like, hey, I got a good job for you. I got a good restaurant gig for you. Want to come? And then guess what? You're trafficked. There's a very fine line between relative offering you a job and human trafficking, isn't there?
God.
There is, isn't there? Like, I know, I guess in Western culture, you don't have to worry about this. But what's the like, imagine if you grew up like very poor in the UK, and then I'm your uncle, and I say, oh, I run this really cool restaurant in Australia. You know, you want to come with me? You come work for me? And then you're like, okay, I don't have much going on here. So yeah, why do I take this opportunity? So I bring you over to Australia, and I promise you'll get your own accommodation. Nope, you're just going to sleep on a mattress on my floor in the living room. And then I'll be like, oh, you get to pay the wage. And then it's like, nope, because I paid for your flight. So your wage has to go to that first. So that you have to give some fees to the agency or whatever. So is that human trafficking? Or is that, the immigrant work ethic, working for your relatives? It's a very fine line. People always say human trafficking as if this big, very concrete thing. But I'm telling you, there are the obvious cases, of course, where women get trafficked into prostitution. But those are the obvious cases. There's so many on the line, vague, gray area places. And that's where I need to hire my people. That's where I'm going to hire my next. I always need more editors on my team, So I'm going to hire the gray zone people.
God.
Right, who are promised a good job.
I will say, when I go around Chinatown, I think everyone who works in those, they always look really sad. I always do think that. We said this last week, didn't we? But when I go in, I try and speak to them. They don't want it at all.
Yeah,
I think
listen, that's not because they're trafficked. That's just their nature. Please don't go around assuming sad people in Chinatown are trafficked.
I'm gonna save you.
Yeah. No, this is your white savior mentality is coming out, man. Listen, there are people who are trafficked who put on a very happy exterior, You've seen them. Probably at Disneyland. I'm sure that all the Mickey Mouses, the people under there are miserable as shit, but they put on the Mickey Mouse mask. You know what I mean? So, human trafficking is a very tough thing to tackle because it's a fine line there. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not for it, but I'm saying if you're trafficked already, maybe I'll just hire you. You're already here, though. You know what I mean? You're already here. Let me just hire you, save some money for my business. You can help edit my videos. So if you're trafficked, hit me up. If you're trafficked and you need a second job, hit me up. Speaking of, that's no segue there. There's no way to segue from human trafficking.
Speaking of slavery.
Yeah, speaking of slavery, my latest YouTube video. No, unrelated. My latest YouTube video, I reviewed this Epicurus thing. Uncle Rogers reviews $242 fried rice versus $13 fried rice. It's an Epicurus video where two chefs make one expensive, one cheap version. And I reviewed Esther Choi, who's an amazing chef. And when I was reviewing, because when I was looking at her video, I was like, holy shit, she's good at cooking. So I followed her on Instagram. And I realized, we were in town in LA during the same time. So we actually did meet in LA. Before the video went up. So it was very weird because right before I met her, I was editing the video. So I was staring at Esther's face for a few hours. And then I see her in person. I'm like, I told her this too, and she laughed. And I was like, it's a bit weird. I was just staring at your face for a few hours. And she's like, oh no, I hope you're not sick of it.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the smoothness in me was like, oh, I could never be sick of that, I wish I said that. I didn't say that. I forget what I said. Said something corny or something. But but she's very, very good. She likes the video. And hopefully we'll collab together in New York, man.
Oh.
Yeah, that's very cool. She's a great chef. And such an entrepreneur. So much respect for her, man. She owns 7 restaurants in New York, and she's traveling all over the place. She's on the Food Network all the time.
Wow.
So she's good at what she does, man. So hopefully we get to work together soon.
Hey,
yeah. Shout out to Esther. Watch this space. Go follow Esther on Instagram. She's amazing. She's an amazing chef. Hello, niece and nephew. It's Uncle Roger. If you're enjoying podcasts so far, smack the like button like how your parents smack you and subscribe to podcast channel. Also, go leave 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever podcast app you have on your phone. Nephew Nigel telling me he read every single comment. HAIYAA, I don't know why he's so needy. Anyway, back to show. Let's look at some listener Instagram voice notes.
So we had Carla who messaged in, and she wanted to speak to you about gatekeeping.
Oh,
in the previous episode.
Gatekeeping food. Okay.
About a very British type of cuisine.
Let's hear your thoughts, Carla.
Hi, Nigel. It's Carla. And I was listening to the episode 5 of the podcast, and you were talking about how white people should be gatekeeping their own cultures and stuff like that.
Yep.
And if you want to talk about gatekeeping in terms of British food, fish and chips. I see so many fish and chips in other countries that use the wrong type of chips. Like they use fries, like thin fries.
Yep.
It's so wrong. And the wrong type of batter. Some breadcrumb, which is very much a wrong thing. But the batter isn't like a beer batter. It isn't like a good batter. So in terms of British food, that is 100% something that should be gate kept. On to your question from that episode, what are you looking forward to this year? I'm looking forward to seeing you in your stand-up show, the HAIYAA tour.
Hey, nice.
Which I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing you again on stage. And yeah, looking forward to that. And yeah, I've been a fan of you for like nearly 3 years now. Cannot wait.
Great. Wow, she's been a fan for 3 years. Thank you, Carla. Can't wait to see you again either. That should be fun. Oh, I should be plugging my shows. I have some extra show dates coming out. All links are at nigelungcomedy.com. I think we're adding extra shows in New York, in Seattle, in Amsterdam, San Francisco. So go check it out. But yeah, I think to address your point, Carla, gatekeeping British food. Why hasn't anybody done that?
I think it should. I mean, fish and chips and roast dinners I would add in as well.
Yeah, and we fuck it up so bad, man. Like in Asia, I've had fish and chips in Asia. Is the skitty fries, the wrong batter, or sometimes no batter, or they just fry the fish. So we need a British celebrity to do this.
Yeah, they
right?
should. They should, because also, but at the same time, I want to ask you this. Like, if I was traveling somewhere, and most people I know who are British, like, they wouldn't seek out British food. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't be like, oh, where's the local pub?
Yeah.
I need to go and have some fish and chips. Whereas, like, other people who come from, I guess you could argue better cuisines, they'll be like, oh, no, I need to go and find the nearest, like, pho restaurant. Do you know what I mean? I've never understood that. So maybe you can...
I think you don't have a pride about your food in this country. Do you? No, you don't. You don't.
But I think it fits in with everything else that's British. It's very self-deprecating. Because it's great food. I love it. I love fish and chips. I love roast dinners. But I would never, if I'm away somewhere, I wouldn't seek it out, ever. That's
a cultural problem. You know, for Asians, like take pho, for example. By the way, that pho clip is doing the round. It's killing it. I love it. Pho, you fuck with pho, you fuck with all of Vietnam. They take it very seriously. They're very proud of it. It's their national dish. So maybe you don't have that. Maybe, like you said, self-deprecating. And also, in the UK, you have this culture of not being proud of where you're from.
It's true.
You call no matter what town you're from, you just call it, oh, it's a shithole. It's a shithole, mate. It's a shithole. Doesn't matter what town. And then it gets a laugh. I know this. I've traveled around, and I just call the town a shithole, you know? And people laugh. They like it. They're too self-deprecating. Maybe I think it's a deeper cultural problem. So
yeah, the self-deprecating thing is that's why when you posted your abs, you're like none of your comedian friends, your British liked it. So like, well, I would never post that.
Haters gonna hate. Haters gonna hate, you fat cunts. I hope we don't get demonetized. I think the C word is always tricky, right?
But I think Carla's right. I think somebody. Maybe Jamie Oliver can go and gatekeep for us elsewhere. I'm Team Jamie. Come on, Jamie.
Oh, no. You can't be Team Jamie on this podcast, man.
No, maybe Gordon. I think Gordon needs to gatekeep.
Okay, but Gordon's Scottish. Well, he probably doesn't care about gatekeeping the English food. I don't know. You have this whole relationship with the other countries here. It's complicated. I think you need an English guy. Okay, fine, if Jamie wants to do it. Maybe Nigella can gatekeep it. But I can never see Nigella being mean.
No.
You know? The microwave. You know, the microwave lady. That's what the Americans know her for when I brought her up in California. Is she the microwave lady?
I mean, it is amazing. It's iconic.
I can't imagine her roasting people.
No.
You need a British Uncle Roger. You know, Uncle Dave. Uncle Dave.
I actually have an Uncle Dave as well, which is great. I'll get him to do it.
Yeah. Hey. I can't do it. I can't even do anything. British accent.
What are you trying to do? Oi, oi.
Yeah. Say, what can we say? Why using skinny fries on my fish and chips? You wanker. Yeah. Say it.
Oi, oi. Why are you using skinny fries on your fish and chips, you wanker?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, it's very good. You have a career in this, man. Seriously. It might be for like 2 videos because you don't really have that much cuisine. You have like fish and chips and then a roast dinner.
Yeah, that's it.
How do people fuck up roast dinners?
Oh, in so many ways.
Okay.
They use the wrong meat, or the meat's too, like, they overcook it.
Okay.
The gravy, you've got to have a proper gravy. A lot of them don't do that, the red wine stew and things like that.
Yeah, say that.
Proper gravy.
Yeah, say, use proper gravy, not some red wine juice. We're not in France, you wanker.
Use the proper gravy, not the red wine stew, you twat.
Listeners, I think we're onto something here. Right? Let me know. We're onto something here. Uncle Matt. Yes. That's how you start gatekeeping your food. You go to Asia. Have you had fish and chips in Asia?
No, never.
Yeah, don't, because we mess it up. That's how we start. You do it in a humorous way. And I also think there's this whole like stigma about white people being proud of white things, It's very hard now, so you have to do it. You have to approach it carefully.
Yeah, there's a lot of white guilt.
If I attack Jamie Oliver, people still let me get a pass because he's like rich, famous, successful. But if you go to Asia and attack an Asian person fucking up fish and chips, people feel bad for the Asian person. You're like, hey man, they're just trying to make a living, man. He's never had the privilege to travel to Asia, man, to travel to Britain. So that's why he fucks up his fish and chips. So it's a little tougher. Yeah. Like if I make fun of the BBC, people get it. Yeah, this Asian uncle, So you need to review white people fucking up British food. Yes. That is the trick.
I mean, lots of people do that. So.
Yeah. Let's try it. Maybe it's my new character. I'll mimic what you say and how you say it. Let me know, listeners. Should I do Uncle Dave? Uncle Dave. Hey.
That does give me the ick though when you hear like an American accent saying like wanker or something. It's so
really?
Or twat.
Wanker.
Yeah,
wanker.
Don't say it. That's
Twat.
our thing. Don't say that.
What about dickhead?
That didn't sound too bad.
Okay.
Still not great though.
All right. I'll stop saying wanker. We're going to play another one, another listener voicemail. And listeners, if you want to send something in, just follow the Instagram at HAIYAAPod, HAIYAAPOD, and then just leave a voicemail. A voice note is better than text because it's nice to hear people's voices, So do that.
So we have a voice note here from Maurice, who is speaking to us all about fusion food.
Hey cousin Nigel, I'm a huge fan. Say hi to Uncle Roger. I'm super excited this year. My pandemic project was learning Turkish. So while I was at home, online, through university and other programs, I learned Turkish. I'm going to Turkey finally this year in the summer. I just had a question for you, cousin Nigel, and for Uncle Roger. What's your thoughts on fusion food? Like, I'm a sushi chef, and what if I make sushi with Turkish ingredients? Is that a war crime or something possible? Love to know your thoughts. Have a good one.
I think it depends on the execution. I think you need to come with a knowledge of the Japanese food, Japanese ingredients, and why they put things in there, how the flavors mix with each other. You need to know the traditional way of making sushi, and then you bring in the Turkish stuff, and you need to know their Turkish shit as well, the traditional Turkish ingredients, the flavors. I know nothing about their cuisine. It's sad. I need to learn more. But then I think you need to have a good understanding of both before you can do a good version of that fusion food.
If you get the fundamentals right, and then you can like mix it up afterwards. Do you know what I mean? As long as those core principles are there,
yes,
no one really minds what you're doing with it after that.
But also, that is the boring answer. The fun answer is, don't fucking do it. Jesus Christ. What's wrong with regular sushi? We have to uphold tradition sometimes. I sound very Tory now, don't I? We have to uphold tradition. Immigrants should not come to the country. I always get this. Because when I say we have to uphold tradition, people just jump to conclusions. They're like, what, are you against immigration too? Like, no. I just meant you should put some fish on your sushi. That's what I mean. Okay? Let's not assume tradition's always bad. Certain things in life, sure, like when it comes to people, just let them come. Whoever race doesn't matter. But when it comes to food, can I not be a little bit right-wing when it comes to food? You know, oh, the good old days when sushi was just rice and fish. And then these immigrants come in and put like Turkish shit on it. Oh, no, Brexit. That's what about Brexit. I want my sushi back. Let's take back sushi. Brexit. That would be, I will vote Brexit if that was what they were going for. Not sushi, but like, let's take back roast dinners. Yeah. Gatekeeping. Brexit is gatekeeping. Full circle, people. Let's take back fish and chips. These filthy immigrants, these Polish people coming over, putting their pierogies and fish and chips. I don't want fish and pierogi. I want fish and chips. So you should use that hate, you know, that kind of xenophobic hate to gatekeep your food, you know? I think the end justifies the means.
Oh my God.
Right? What are you voting Brexit for? To get rid of the immigrants? Why? Why? Now you have all this labor shortage and you have all these materials you can't get and everything's expensive, inflation and all that stuff. But if you said you voted for Brexit so roast dinners can stay roast dinners instead of getting influenced by other stuff. If you voted for Brexit so there'll be fewer Wagamamas in the UK, I will be all for that.
Oh man, Wagamama.
Yeah, terrible Asian chain.
So bad.
That's what Brexit should be for. It's not the bureaucracy. It's not Brussels. It's for Brussels sprouts. That's what it's for. Offensive enough to end? I think so. Goodbye.